Well, it has been a very, very long road, but here we are for the 14th and final round of the 2025-2026 Autobahn Sportscar Challenge, and with that also comes the fourth and the final round of the Autobahn Endurance Cup. And where better to host the season finale than the iconic Frnacorchamps circuit, located around about 5 miles southeast of Spa itself in a little place called Stavlo. You'll recognise that as one of the corners on this particular track, just measuring over 7 kilometres. Hello everybody, welcome along to the JP Broadcasting Network. My name's Alex Goldschmidt, and joining me in the broadcast booth once again for the season finale, Chris Murphy. Welcome in, buddy. It's been a couple of weeks since Aragon, but, well, we were being told there might be some rain in the air here in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium, but we didn't understand that it might be a night race either.
No, rain's already tough enough here at Spa. I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you come to Belgium, right? I mean, I think half the races I've seen at Spa have been in the rain, but then you're going to add in the conditions of the dark. Should be very interesting. We got a good field of cars here tonight, so really looking forward to the last race of the season here with you, Alex.
Yeah, so we are about a minute and a half away from qualifying, but we need to wrap you through the points as quickly as we can. So, GTP, Nathan Dowd leads on 313 ahead of Brandon Wilson on 298. Dominic Dernberg from Composite Motorsports in the Acura rounds out your top three on 284. So it could be the battle between Dowd, Wilson and Dernberg for who ends up 1, 2, 3. Next up, LMP2. Kenny Richardson has already secured the title, but it's the battle for second position that we're really interested in tonight. Mo Islam, Walker Carroll and Robert Tinsley separated by 2 points from second to fourth in the division. GTD, however, well, enjoy your wonderful time with your wife, Robert Cast, because he's not here tonight. It's his wife's birthday, so many happy returns to Mrs. Cast, as Carter Kundigat is going to be one race away from taking the GTD title, even though people might say, yeah, Rob Cast has already got it. But nevertheless, you never know what might happen in this race. Heading into GTD, and we've also had another champion crowned last time out at Aragon. Portuguese man of war Samuel de Oliveira with 341 points cannot be caught. Dale Green and Chris Sherburn, along with the returning. Now, is Paul Slavonic on the grid tonight? He is not. So it's between Green and Sherburn with 2 points adrift in GTD. And then we've got the Autobahn Endurance Cup. Dernberg leads Dowd and Wilson, covered by 17 points going into the final round out of 4. Then we head to LMP2. Kadeem Richardson, well, he's winning by a country mile. And don't forget, folks, this is a double points race, so Mo Islam, Robert Tinsley will definitely have to fight tooth and nail. We've also got Fury Simsports Walker Carroll returning in the number 9 Delara, so good to have him back on the grid. Then we've got GTD in terms of the Autobahn Endurance Cup, and Carter Kundigat leads that one ahead of Bradley Haley, Brian Bennett, Robert Cast, Ross Booth round out the top 5 with Kundigat only the main exponent in the top 5, so he's pretty much sealed the deal. Samuel de Oliveira could take 2 titles on the bounce in respective weeks. He's 10 points ahead of Paul Slavonic, who's not here tonight. Dale Green and Chris Sherburn are 2 points adrift. It's very much like it is in their normal championship. Finally, we've got the teams to talk about when it comes to the points as they stand. And it's Composite Performance on 3720, Sector 5 Haley 3078, Fury Simsport 2867, Solpet Precision, Satellite Racing and Sector 5 Black rounding out the field. So this is going to be an interesting one. On the race itself, sim race time start on the circuit will be 7 PM local, and it is a 90-minute race. So what we could see, Mr. Murphy, is more than just one pit stop tonight, unless you're feeling brave, and the weather is definitely going to hamper lap times and tyre degradation, along with fuel consumption this evening.
Yeah, a couple of the drivers that I spoke to before qualifying started are talking about 2 pit stops, so I think we are going to see 2 stops in this race. Normally with our hour-long race, you just see that 1 stop at the half-hour mark, so we're going to see how people shake this up, see if they split where they're going to split their pit stops up. A little bit different strategy come into play here tonight. We got we have definitely our biggest field of GTP cars here tonight of the season. So really, it's going to be really interesting. But right now, Brandon Wilson out in front by 1.9 seconds back to Alex Caruso here so far in qualifying.
Alex Caruso running in the Acura, then it's Nathan. So look at this for a top 4 in GTP. BMW leads Acura, leads Cadillac, leads Porsche. Then we look down a little bit further down the order. We've only got Mo Islam, Robert Tinsey, and Walker Carroll here tonight. So Kadeem Richardson pretty much has wrapped up the AEC. More to the point, just a little bit of a reminder, a little bit of housekeeping for those watching from home. Incident limit is in effect. It's a 20 incident points allowed. Further incidents will result in a drive-through penalty for every 5x after 20. So we are now completed with our qualifying session for the final round. Now, the temperatures, we're looking at 66 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around about 19, 20 degrees centigrade. And there you see it, 19 degrees centigrade, 82% humidity, and lightly wet at the moment. Well, it's going to be more than mildly moist, in the words of Jeremy Clarkson, a little bit later on when we go green for 90 minutes. Wind to the southwest of around about 9 to 12 kilometers an hour. So it's going to be a sunset start and a nighttime finish. And I think that's a pretty fitting way to conclude the series that started back in late September, Chris.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it kind of tops it off right there. We're going to start with the sun up, finish off the season as the sun goes down into the darkness. Just very fitting here for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. This has been a long season. We started, what did we say? We started back in September, I believe.
Yeah, September 22nd at Daytona.
Yeah, 6-7 months ago now at this point. So it's been a long season there for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. Really happy that they let us be a part of this, because it's just been a really fun series. But going to be a fitting finish here at Spa tonight, in the rain, in the dark, with a big field of GTP cars. We did have 3 drivers not qualify, so we'll see who makes it out here to the grid. But watch for Brandon Wilson and newcomer Alex Caruso look pretty fast out there, Alex.
So did the 88 Porsche 963 Hybrid of newcomer Griffin Yellin as well, who lined up P4. So we got 7. Looks like we've got 7. We got 8, including JT Hoskins, as everyone is starting to ready up. So let's take you through the final starting lineup for the last round of the 2025-2026 Autobahn Sports Car Challenge, season number 15. Brandon Wilson back with a bang, puts it on pole by nearly 2 seconds ahead of Alex Caruso in the number 44. Nathan Dowd possibly could take the title in the main proceedings. Brandon Wilson could be possibly the one that takes the Endurance Cup this season. Griffin Yellin rounds out the top 4. Dominic Dernberg, Michael Costello for Eclipse competition in the 106, and that is another of the Porsches. Then we have Ross O'Connor in the 714 Acura, JT Hoskins in the number 7 Porsche, rounding out the top 8. Walker Carroll takes pole in LMP2 ahead of Robert Tinsey and Mo Islam. Mitch Heller takes pole position overall in GTD Pro and AM, and behind him, what a result there for Gone Broke Racing's Chris Sherburne, putting it ahead of champion-elect in both GTD championships, Carter Cunningham for composite performance, Dale Green in the yellow submarine Porsche that we have now come accustomed to, despite the fact he ran with Aston Martin earlier on this season. He'll be joined on the same row by Samuel de Oliveira, Trevor Vavrovsky, TC Watkins and Sheldon Rosenbaum round out your grid. Now, whether all 18 drivers are going to be on the field, Trevor Vavrovsky is a good friend of Mr. Robert Cast, running in the GT Dynamic squad, so he will be in the number 10 Mercedes-Benz, as we are still waiting for Messrs. Costello, O'Connor, Hoskins. Wondering if Vavrovsky, Watkins and Rosenbaum are going to tee up. If they don't, then I mean, I have to give credit where credit's due here, Chris, because Carter Cunningham has done a bit of a recruitment drive, hasn't he, for the last round of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last race we were down a little bit in the car count. Nice to see 18 cars show up, and it looks like we're going to have maybe 5 or 6 drivers not start this race, but so we may have 13 take the green as we're rolling off.
Well, Carter Cunningham is definitely going to be smiling like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland at the moment, because, okay, Costello is going to start from the pits. Now, The big thing is that are we going to see Watkins, Vavrovsky, because that'll only put us to 2 GTD cars, considering the fact that last week, 2 weeks ago at Aragon, we went to have Robert Cast, but he had a family emergency to attend to for the final round of the season. Well, all I'm going to say is there would be hell and fury, because as they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned on her birthday. That means his wife. However, we get set and ready for 90 minutes here at Frnacorchamps for the final time. It's Wilson on pole, newcomer Caruso alongside on the front row. And when we get the signal, it will be very much the case that we will go green. They are not going to start them on a traditional GP starting line because we're going endurance, folks. It is going to be out of the source, down the hill, into Eau Rouge, up to Radiant, and then down the Kemmel Straight for the first time. So get yourselves ready for the roller coaster here for the final round of the season. And Brandon Wilson has already bolted like a stabbed rat. And here we go, lights are red, and we are now going to go green here for 90 minutes as Brandon Wilson up the hill for the first time. Caruso giving chase in the number 44 Acura. Looks to be the teammate of Brandon Wilson, because that looks like a Hyperion Racing livery. Mitch Heller leads the GTD field, which is now comprising of 5 total drivers, and at the back end of that, well, you can see there is Carter Kundiger, and Brandon Wilson is going to lead the field out of Malmedy down into Rivage, which is the Richmond corner, we're at the corner number. So through they've gone down Malmedy into Rivage, then into No Name. And Caruso gets a little bit of a wobble. He is, and I thought that might be the case. I did see a bit of a fleck of blue, black and red, and he is the teammate of Brandon Wilson. So a Hyperion 1-2 leading in GTP as they go through into Pouon out of turns 10 and 11 for the first time at breakneck speed. We are going to see some big differentials in the top speed when they go through the trap as they now head into Le Fang at 12 and 13, down into turns 14 and 15 coming up, which will be Campus and then Stavelot. Tinsey closing in on Walker Carroll, the pole sitter in the LMP2 division, as we now make our way through Côte Paul Frère on the high speed run through to Blanchimont as Nathan Dad has got through on Griffin Yellin for P3. There is Samuel de Oliveira. Oh, he's decided to change cars for this round. He's gone with Corvette. What happened to that lovely looking Mustang we've seen for most of the season?
I think maybe he try something else. He actually looks like he might have had an off here. We'll take a look at the replay here real fast and see what happened, because he was here in the group.
This is going to be going through into No Name.
Oh, it just snaps around on him.
He would have been a little bit safe with that brick they call a Mustang. But nevertheless, it's, you know, he doesn't have to worry about things being pretty much wrapped up as Griffin Yellin manages to keep ahead of Dominic Dernberg. And we do have, I think Michael Costello did come out, but look at this. Griffin Yellin being hustled by Dominic Dernberg. Of course, Composite Performances looking for the team's title at the end of this round of the series. As we head into Le Fang, dives to the inside of the man from Canada. Oh no, and he spins it! He spins it and he nearly takes Yellin with him. Yellin gets an off-track penalty, but Dominic Dernberg went for the move, but that was a bit of a messy moment there for the Canadian, I'm afraid.
Go back and take a look at that here and see what happened to Dominic. He is right on the back of Yellin, going down into the corner, looks to the inside, takes it. That's a nice move in here, but it just can't carry that speed. Oh, hits that water down there on the inside and loses the back of the car. Lucky he didn't make any more damage there.
Well, I think he managed to spin the car around, got it to the outside of the first part of Le Com, and then held on the brakes because he knew cars were coming. That was so close.
That was pretty tight.
Yeah, well, I think Mo Islam was definitely counting his chickens before they hatched at that particular occasion. Meantime, Brandon Wilson, like the proverbial scalded cat that he is, has just run away with things at the moment ahead of teammate Alex Caruso. However, Mitch Heller, number 303 Porsche, just in front of Carter Kundiger, who earlier on in the season was in the Ford Mustang. But then decided to switch to the Mercedes, which really has been the vehicle that has really come his way. Now, as you can see, folks, it is wet on the circuit. It is not dry, but everyone is still taking that chance with dry tyres. Now, if the rain comes in, and if anyone might remember Portimao, I certainly remember it. I'm sure you do as well, Chris. There was a big old deluge, but look at this. Cunningham going very, very too much to the inside in towards Blanchimont. Hopefully he doesn't do a Jules Gounon like the Frenchman who's now actually based out of Andorra tried to go 4 wide down the straightaway. If you watch the first round of the GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Endurance Cup with Paul Ricard this weekend, he made it 4 wide and then went over the sausage curb because he went over the curbing and didn't actually do himself any justice at all and ended up taking a trip to the medical centre after his stint. Besides, Walker Carroll is now finding that Tom Dernberg in the composite performances Acura is closing in. So yeah, we are right. We have got 5 cars that haven't made it onto the grid. Costello did make it for a moment, but here goes Dernberg to the inside at Rivage on Walker Carroll. Has to back out of it right to the last second.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Dornberg hasn't just driven around Carroll and ran off into the sunset here to try to chase Yelling down, but Walker put down some good laps. He's got some separation back to Tinsley right now. You know, we took a look at Samuel de Oliveira earlier, and that Corvette is not to his liking. He has won, what did he win, 7 races this season, I think it was?
Yeah, back to back, I think
yeah, and he is trailing the field right now. So that Corvette, he changed it up here for Spa. I think he just wanted to take a little chance, but I think he might have been better off in his Mustang, like you said earlier.
Yeah, 7 wins out of the last 8 races that Samuel de Oliveira has blitzed the field in GTD. But still, at least, we have got some GTD entertainment at the moment, courtesy of Messrs. Heller and Kundiger, as they are just coming out of Pouon. Now, is this going to be the door open into Campus? Right to Lefagne. Kundiger, that was a great little teed up move by the Mercedes. Now, I think in these, let's just say, inclemental conditions here at Spa, that the Porsche would have the advantage in the wet weather, but because of the fact it's partially dry, it's partially wet, every single one of the competitors' boats is on dry tyres. And when that rain hits, Chris, because I've got a feeling in my gut that there will be rain coming, when that will happen, I don't honestly know. But it could be the case that there could be a little bit of drama, let's say. It always happens here at Spa.
Yeah, the track is a little bit drier than I anticipated here at the start. It was pretty wet all throughout practice and qualifying, but it has dried out significantly here. There's just a few little wet spots here. You can see the drivers splashing through, so I think they're taking the chances on the dry. But you know, as we look here, you can see a little bit of blue sky, but the clouds are getting a little bit darker. Coming in, and like you, I mean, it's as we see all the time here at Spa. You watch those clouds come up over the mountain, and the rain just starts dumping on you. And I don't think we're going to get through this race without at least a little more rain coming down.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, north is basically where La Source is. So when you consider the wind is to the southwest, that is when you're looking at, like, say, the end of Kemmel Strait, Lecon, Malmedy, Rivage. So. And I've experienced this before at Spa. I was there for the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps back in 2023. And we had the, where they do the qualifying, which then decides the top 20 shootout for Super Bowl for the main event. And we got through Q1, clouds were looking a bit threatening. Q2, didn't look too bad, a little bit of spots here and there. Q3 was when it absolutely teed it down, raining cats and dogs, as we've now got Tinsley versus Carroll through into Blanchimont before the chicane. And Tinsley trying to do his best to get through on the Fury Sim Sport car. They've also got to be very, very mindful of the sausage curbs through that chicane as well. And if you hit that sausage curb at an LMP2 or a GTP, could find yourself a bit of a passenger as we head into the source once again. We're now on to lap 5 at the minute, and I have seen that Michael Costello is now closing in on Dominic Dernberg, so Costello did have to start from pit lane. But the man in the number 106 Porsche, there we see, he's actually a lap down on everybody else, it seems. Well, there he is. There he is, and that very, look at that for a livery on that Porsche. Very bright purple, little shades of black, and a good old Dulux dollop of white on the body shell there. But of course, Porsche this year celebrating 75 years of motorsport over the hashtag RaceBorn on social media. As we see Tinsey giving Walker Carroll so much stick. I mean, he's within 4/10. There's got to be an opportunity for Robert Tinsey to maybe pull the trigger and get through on Walker Carroll. But at the moment, we've only had 10 minutes completed in this race so far. Brandon Wilson's up the road from Alex Caruso by nearly 5.5 seconds. Oh no. And that was Griffin Yelling getting a tag from Dominic Durnberg through on the inside, as the Composite Performances driver is not going to be on anyone's GTP Christmas card list this year.
No, Durnberg had gone off in his earlier battle with Yelling, but reeled him back in. Take a look to the inside. We'll take a look at this here again. Dominic looks down to the inside of Yelling, actually on the outside right here, but as they come into the next corner, it looks like Yelling just kind of pinches them off. They got some room right here, but I mean, Dominic's right on the line right there. I don't know if he really had any more room to go to the left. I think Yelling might have just kind of came down across the nose.
Yeah, it's kind of 1 of 1 and 500 of the other there. It's
Yeah, exactly.
There, you know, it could be considered as a racing incident. This is into Le Fang, so Durnberg gets all 4 wheels alongside. And then this is the moment, as they go through the second part of Le Fang, that's when Griffin turns in, bang, straight away. There's the contact. And then all of a sudden, Michael Costello says, "Thanks, boys. That gave me 2 places. I got the buy one, get one free special from the supermarket in the local vicinity of the circuit. Thank you very much for that." And now Costello, in the 106 Eclipse Competition Porsche, now has scarfed away to the distance of around about 2.2 seconds. But in the meantime, you did say about the Oliveira not finding his feet well with the Corvette Z06 GT3R, but look at him now. He's trying to challenge Chris Sherburn, who put it on GT the Ampol. This is, do not tell me you're going to throw it around the outside here at Blanchimont, Samuel. Come on, please, just don't give yourself a heart attack, and neither try to give Chris one. He is going to go for it. He's still within track limits, and he just made the move. That's the move of the night so far.
Fantastic move.
De Oliveira in the Corvette, switching from one of the big 3 is in the Blue Oval, and he's gone to Chevy, and he's just proven that he can adapt to a vehicle. And that's quite surprising, how, considering the fact he had that big spin going through No Name Corner quite early in the race, and he's managed to gather himself up. It sounds like he's one of those people that, okay, it's going to take a little time to adjust, and probably in his mind, a little time will be just a few laps, and he's just thrown that move around the outside. I'm sure that Chris Sherburn is like saying, "Hey, no fair, I was leading."
Yeah, Samuel just made quick work of that. He fell back there out of the earlier mistake, but once he caught Dale Green and Sherburn, he just drove off into the sunset here. He's already got about almost a full second gap now. But yeah, I was looking up front. You know, early on we had that battle with Wilson and Caruso shaping up, but Wilson is now almost a full 6 seconds out in front of Caruso. And actually, Nathan Dowd now has worked his way back up onto the back of the number 44 of Caruso, trying to get that second spot away.
Well, the big thing is, folks, let's not forget, this is an Autobahn Endurance Cup round. It is a 90-minute adventure, which means double points. So it is 50 for a win, and everything else doubles as well, including your pole position, including your fastest lap, including if you get a 0x. And at this point, as we run on board with Rob Tinsey, Wiper is going flat chat across the windscreen, and now the rain is actually starting, I think, to come in, because there are a couple of drops on the front windscreen of the 82 Dallara P217 from Satellite Racing. But Walker Carroll is doing a magnificent job at the front end of the field. But no, as I say that, he spins it, and bang.
A slight contact.
Really didn't look like it from that perspective. I thought that Walker Carroll might have just lost it on his own, but I'd like to see that from a helicap shot perspective. Let's have a look. So
Asking thou shalt
into Legon.
receive.
Thank you very kindly, good sir. He goes on the curbing, puff goes the water into the air, and it was all on his own.
He's going to make didn't make any contact there. Yeah, from that other angle, looked like he might have caught the wall, but it looks like we also may have had an incident here with Costello after he got a couple of spots handed to him there. Let's see what happens here to the 106. Looks like maybe
he's gone. Yeah, well, it could be quite well. Let's see.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing you were.
Yeah, I'm thinking has he gone? Yeah, well,
he just parks it.
He's just gone straight on. So I'm wondering if he's had an issue. Griffin Yellen in the meantime has just gone into pits as well. So. Oh, that's not what you want to do coming out of, I think that's Pouon he's just come out of. So the 88 from the USA, looks like he's from the same team, and this is going to be, oh dear, he's just understeered off like the plague, and just started mowing the grass like Valtteri Bottas did in his days back at, oh no, and he hits the barriers.
Yeah, I think
dry tyres on wet grass, so that is a hard hit.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit of damage on the car and it just didn't want to turn. We got down in there, and I think he's probably going to retire for the night right there. So we'll see if he does make it back out. So both Yelling and Costello in the pits right now. See if either want to make it back out onto the racetrack.
I think they're both from the same team as well, because Costello in the purple and Yelling in the red, so the liveries were quite similar, especially with the diagonal lines down on the back fender just behind the rear wheels. So I would imagine they're both from the Clips competition, but Robert Tinsley now has got the lead of the race after Walker Carroll's spin. Mo Islam now up into P2. So this puts Robert Tinsley in a very, very good place when it comes to second in both the respective series, because of the fact that we talked about the point situation earlier on, and Cadin Richardson has got enough of a lead in both the LMP2 and also the Enduro Cup. Now the thing is, I am going to throw a little bit of possible wood on the fire that might ignite something underneath Cadin Richardson, because at the moment he is 52 points ahead of Mo Islam. Now if Mo Islam gets the fastest lap in the LMP2 division, that's 2 points. If he gets the win, that's another 50 points, which then ties them, and then it goes to count pack. This is how entertaining things can be. Now, bearing in mind, Mo Islam has done second place in both his appearances at Road America and that was on the 8th of December. Sebring he was second. And it was actually Walker Carroll that took the win back at Road America. So, looking at it from this perspective, if you were to go to count back, even if, and I'm saying this in the nicest way possible, it actually needs to be that, I think Mo Islam, he needs the following. He needs fastest, well, he doesn't even need fastest lap. If he gets the 0x, that's 4 points, isn't it? I think if I remember correctly.
I'm taking your word on it. I don't have the point setting in front of me.
No. No, because no, he needs a fastest lap and he needs a 0x. So the main race points do double, the additional bonuses don't. So at the moment, I'm just looking at the fastest laps, and Mo Islam needs to do a sub 2:10 in terms of the fastest lap of the race. His fastest lap, however, has been a 2:10.33. Robert Tinsley's fastest lap, a 2:015. Walker Carroll, well, no surprise, 2:09.913. So the way things are going, it could be the fact that Tinsley might over. I'm just going to have a look at these points again, because it's really interesting. Robert Tinsley at the moment, this might put, well, he's 60 He's 8 points behind Mo Islam at the moment. So if he picks up the win, that's 50 points. And that'll reduce the gap down to 2 points between him and Mo Islam. So Robert Tinsley needs a perfect race, I think, to steal second in the running order of things from Mo Islam, and be a handful of points behind Kadeem Richardson. So it looks like it is the battle for second best in both the LMP2 and the LMP2 Championship overall, and also the Enduro Cup. But more to the point, this might actually put if it goes that way. How's about this for a situation, Chris? If Rob Tinsley gets the win plus gets a 0x, that I'm just going to have a look at what that might do to the overall championship side of things. And it might possibly go to count back, because looking at it from this perspective, Robert Tinsley, for the last 3 appearances, has done a third at Sebring, second at Hockenheim, second at Aragon. And then it all comes down to race wins. And it would go, if they tie on points, Mo Islam will get second based on the fact he has had a win. No, he has had a win this series, and it was, of all places, Mount Panorama back at round 8 on the 19th of January.
Seems like so long ago now at this point. That was an epic race though at Mount Panorama. If you enjoy some exciting racing, go back and take a look at that one. That was a fun one. But that's got quite the situation there right there. But Tinsley looks to be way out in front after Carroll's mistake. I mean, he's got a 10-second lead right now. I don't see Carroll making that up unless Tinsley makes some kind of mistake. And as we look at that, he drives off the racetrack into the water. So we've already done a couple broadcast jinx tonight. I think we better be careful here.
It's not commentator's curse like everyone else says. It's fate of circumstance. We're just talking about them. Just like with Walker Carroll going into Lifagne and heading into Malmedy. You know, that was all on him. He did it himself.
Are you sure?
And these drivers know that when you have a slightly dry, slightly wet track, have to stay off the curbs. That's the big crucial thing that some people forget. When you're on a track like this, and I will be completely honest with you, in real life, Spa does not have necessarily the best drainage system in the world. I'll be completely truthful, because when I walked up from the Fanatec esports arena, which was down in the lower side of the paddock, and that was actually just off of the second round of pit boxes, because that's what the drivers will be using tonight as well. So they have got that long pit lane run, because, as I said, we started at the run down from La Source into Orbourge. That is the endurance starting point, especially for any kind of endurance race. The GP starting point, if we were using that, we'd just be using the traditional Formula 1 pit boxes. But we are not. So some drivers might find themselves going on the inside of La Source, having to make sure that they do put full right-hand down lock on the vehicles so they don't clatter into the wall. Don't remind David Coulthard of when he first made his Formula 1 debut with Williams and stacked it going into pit lane. That was a very, very long time ago. I think it was 1995. As Nathan Dowd, what has happened to this man here? So I think it might have just been a bit of a moment. And let's see. It's coming out of Blanchimont into the chicane. Oh, locks up under braking. That was why. And so, even though it says Nathan Dowd has crashed, no, he just missed his braking point.
Yeah, the way our software works, you basically set like a threshold. If you get below that threshold, which is basically about 20 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, it shows us as a crash. So he just had to come to a stop right there. A mistake from him, locking up, but able to stay on the track and keep it between the white lines, and Dowd still pushing forward.
Yeah, Dominic Dernberger's now got a slowdown penalty to serve due to exceeding track limits, so Dernberger will not be getting the 0x tonight. He's had multiple dramas. in the Composite Performance 913 Acura ARX06 as he's heading down the hill in towards Rivage. And then it's going to be the case of, well, Mo Islam and Walker Carroll are about 2.2 seconds adrift of each other, as we are now on lap number 12 with just under 66 minutes remaining until the checkered flag for the final time here at Frnacorchamps for the last round of season 15 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge and Endurance Cup here in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium. Mo Islam nearly straight lines Radignon, heading into the Kemmel Straight. Now, looking at top speeds at the moment, Mr. Murphy, we have got a big old differential between some of the cars, if it will allow me to convert it. So, there we go. I hit metric speed, not metric temperature. So, for those wondering for degrees centigrade, it's 18.6 degree air, 18.9 degrees track. Top speeds at the moment. Brandon Wilson last through the speed trap in the Hyperion Racing number 4 BMW MV8 MV8 Hybrid. Try and get your words around that. That's at 3:05 in the morning, where I am. 196.1 miles an hour. Alex Caruso. So there you can see in kilometres an hour. 316 kilometres an hour for Brandon Wilson. 306 for Caruso. Then Nathan Dowd 304. Dominic Dernberg 300, and Griffin Yellin has recorded the fastest top speed so far in the race, 318 kilometres an hour. Robert Tinsey 282 kph, Mo Islam 287, Walker Carroll 281. And then you get to the GTDs. Kundiger and De Oliveira have matched each other with 265 kilometres an hour a piece, and that is nearly 165 miles per hour. As we see, Library Johnny is the only one that's just jumped in and said hello in the chat on the YouTube stream. So hello there. Good morning or good evening or good afternoon or good night, wherever you are watching from. Thank you all for joining us. But we are coming up to the turn of the first 30 minutes of the race being completed, and we are going to get to that point, Chris, when the drivers will have to try and look at the potential of how they work out their strategies for this race. Now, you mentioned about pit stops, so we could see that if the weather worsens, the track lap times will go down, and thereby the drivers will be able to save a little bit of fuel, but they've still got to go as quickly as they can without compromising their strategy in the rain. But that could be a very tall order, depending when and how hard the rain does hit, if it does.
Yeah, we don't have the full weather in front of us, and actually looking at the sky, it looks like it might have cleared up a little bit. The sky, what clouds are look pretty thin out there, so we'll see how it shakes out. But this may be what we might be seeing too. If some of the drivers have a little more information on the weather, they may be just kind of waiting here for this first stop to see if the rain does come, so they don't have to make an additional stop to put wet tires on or even intermediate tires. But it's right now we're about almost a full half hour into this race. I would expect probably within the next 3 to 4 minutes, maybe the next couple of laps, we might see some drivers starting to come in for the pits, so we'll just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, but still there's a very, very high chance, 71% chance of rainfall here at Spa, but nevertheless everyone has still been able to manage to weather the storm here in the Ardennes, even though there isn't one here yet, or brewing in the background, let's say. However, Walker Carroll starting to chase down Mo Islam for that second position. He is catching him lap after lap, and well, Walker Carroll has just set not only his fastest lap of the race, but also the fastest LMP2 lap, which is worth 1 point to his credit at 2 minute 9.360. Last time Mo Islam was a second slower, around 7 kilometres, as they go through into the chicane and complete another lap. Brandon Wilson has just set the overall fastest lap of the race at 2 minute 2.444. And looking at the lap times, well, Carter Kundiger, his best lap so far, a 2:16.678 or 6:77. Heller a 2:18.344. De Oliveira a 2:17.8 in the Corvette, with Sherburne and Green running in the low to near mid 2 minute 20s. So as you can see, the puff of water from the curbing through Orhouge as Walker Carroll now at breakneck speed, trying to chase down Mo Islam down the Camel Straight. He's in 6th gear, around about 7,700 RPM. Of course, there was a bit of big breaking news from the ACO quite recently, just this week, ahead of the opening round of the now revised 2026 FIA World Endurance Championship calendar, that the LMP2s will change to a 3.2 litre V6 turbocharged Gibson engine from 2028 onwards. So the current generations of the LMP2 division will bid farewell, like we saw with the GTE classes a couple of years back, to the World Endurance Championship at the end of the 2027 season, as we ride on board with the voiture de course, or the race car, which spelled backwards says race car. Dale Green trying to chase down Chris Sherburn in the battle for P2. And this could be very, very decisive in what happens for second position in the GTD AM side of things. And more to the point, because Paul Slavonic not being here, as there is Brandon Wilson in the number 4 Hyperion Racing BMW MV8 Hybrid, getting through on green. And look at the rate of knots. He just passes Sherburn as if the Acura from Goldschmidt Racing, with now the new Sector 5 Haley graphics on it. Still has Goldschmidt Racing on the left rear of the bumper on the car, but Brandon Wilson just passing the GTDs as if they were standing still. But Chris Sherburn at the moment, with the way things are going, I think he might end up, if he stays where he is right now, as we're past the half-hour mark in this final race, round number 14 of the Sportscar Challenge, round 4 of the Endurance Cup. If Sherburn stays where he is, he will finish second, ahead of Green. Obviously, Slavonic is well, I think the thing is that with the way things are going, Sherburn and Green will have enough points to him to get past Slavonic in terms of the Enduro Cup side of things, whereas De Oliveira, the way he's just been absolutely manhandling things, he's on course for win number 8, which is over 50% of the races that have taken place so far since September 22nd, when we went to the World Centre of Racing at Daytona for the first round of both championships. And there is Robert Tinsey quickly dispatching Mitch Heller, second place in GTD Pro. And there is Walker Carroll, who is right with Mo Islam as they go through court. Mo's got to keep a cool arm on probably panicking shoulders right about now, as they will head into Le Fang. And as the gap has come way down, it was a second and a half at one point, and now it's next to nothing, not even a car length between the pair, as they're going to head down into Campus and Stavlo. Oh, bit of a ping miss there from Mo Islam through out of Stavlo, and this is the opportunity. Walker Carroll at over 160 miles an hour when they go through into Blanchimont here on what will be their 15th lap. Let's see, can Walker Carroll outbrake Mo Islam going through Blanchimont? They're going to be at full speed, heading through the corner, not even a lift from the pair. Now it's down into the chicane. What is Walker Carroll going to do? He's going to show his nose, he's going to stick it to the inside. And that is how you overtake the chicane. Nicely played there by Walker Carroll. Does not spin up the rear tyres coming out of the second half of it. And that is P2 for the number 9 from Fury Swim Sport, representing the USA.
Yeah, Mo kind of pulled over and let him go right there. He didn't really put up much of a defense. I think maybe he just saw that Walker just had reeled him in so quickly and just had so much more pace. He thought maybe he'd just kind of give him the spot and then just try to live to fight another day. We do have about an hour left to go in the race right now. But Walker with a good recovery. He spun off the track after lead and gave Tinsey the lead. He was about 10 seconds back. He's gained about a second and a half on Tinsey, but he was able to reel in Islam right there and take that second spot away, as they are now closing up on the back of Heller there, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is going to be very close indeed, because they go into Les Fang, into Les Combes, now into Malmedy, down the hill. Heller has got to be very careful. He's got to keep a watching brief. His eyes will be looking at those rear view mirrors, which now have the black and yellow of Mo Islam's LMP2, and that is now costing time for Mo Islam as they come out of no name. And then head down into the double left-hander, originally known as double gauche. That's French for double left, now known as Pouon. It's a little bit easier for people to say and understand, as in the fact that there is no translation, I think, for Pouon. It's probably Belgian dialect French for some strange reason.
Yeah, well, look at Brandon Wilson. Almost 9 seconds to Caruso. He's making his way up here. Going to try to put a lap here on Mo Islam's third place run in LMP2 car. Makes it easy. Going to look to the inside here. Mo just gets out of the way. Next car up the track is going to be the second place run in Walker Carroll. So Carroll, Tinsey actually keeping that distance between him and Carroll about little over 9 seconds right now. But yeah, Islam falling back right here. So let's see if Brandon Wilson can get by Walker Carroll cleanly here. I don't think Walker's going to give him much of a fight.
Well, okay. I found out Pouon takes its name from a naturally sparking mineral that appears in the region and gives Spa its name. The word Pouon means the place where water is drawn from in French. That's interesting. I'd never heard of that. I never asked any of my friends that actually live near the locality of the Ardennes, saying, what does Pouon mean in English? Now I found it out myself, and that's something we've both learned here tonight.
It means sparky rock? Is that what it means?
Yeah, like a sparking... I couldn't really... I was trying to see what... Yeah, it's like a sparking type of mineral. Because there's when people say Eau Rouge and then Radion, it's actually, for the locals that know the area, it's actually called Eau Rouge et Radion. Eau Rouge and Radion. So you're going up the hill, and underneath there is actually a little river that flows underneath a little bridge. There's like a little sort of like tunnel that is underneath the uphill climb between Eau Rouge et Radion. That Will Buxton actually came across on his travels to Spa, I think in a McLaren 570S GT 570S car that he was loaned by McLaren's UK press office to have a little bit of a road trip. But this is the man who we have been waiting patiently to see come back, and Brandon Wilson, well, you know what, if he does not win the championship, he definitely has been Mr. Excitement and Mr. Speedy Gonzalez when it comes to the GTP class this season. Of course, we were looking forward to the battle between him and Pat Pelchat, but here we go. Wilson and Tinsey are the first two to blink, and now you can see the lights flashing on the side of the headlamps of the BMW M V8 Hybrid. Now coming on to fuel, 80% limit for GTPs, 90% limit for LMP2s, and look at that, as I say that, all the LMP2s are in. Let's see, does Dominic Dernberg from Composite Performances decide to park the Acura ARX06 in the pit lane, which is just coming through Blanchimont? Mitch Heller is the first of the GTVs out of all 5 of them, including the AMs, has decided to pit early, and Dernberg does oblige. So, a lot of activity in pit lane at the moment, which means that even though Kartikunda is about a lap and a half down, he is leading overall in the GTDs. So as you can see, they are having to use the endurance style pits. There you go, there's a nice little bit of formation. Brandon Wilson, oh, and Nathan Dowd has just got a black flag. I think that means he's in his 20X already. That is going to cost him big time, and he has yet to pit, and he needs to serve that penalty quickly, Chris.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to cost him when he comes in to make his pit stop. Definitely going to have to sit for a little bit longer, so he's going to have to come in, serve that black flag before he can do any service on that car. So he's going to have to come in this time by. So he definitely, let me see here. I can't see, I don't have an incident count here, so I'm assuming he did quash that 20X. That's about really the only thing he could have done since he hasn't pitted. The only other option would be speeding on pit road.
Mitch Heller, I think, has just fallen foul of the server because he has just gotten a black flag And I think that's either one of two things, either one of three things, folks. He's either hit his instant point limit, or he's either been caught speeding either into or out of pit lane, or he's crossed the white line on exit, because that's something you don't do. Carter Kundiger now into pit lane for the GTD Pro Class lead in the number 02 Composite Performances Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo. So that is going to be a bit of a hurt locker there for Nathan Dowd, and Mitch Head will be going like saying, why me? Why did it have to happen to me? And he's going to be a long way down. And well, Nathan Dowd has just gone into the pits now. Mitch Heller, let's have a look, because he's got to wait.
I bet he crossed the white line here.
I think he might. No, I think he did. I think he did. Look, I think maybe at the top of because there's that white line just inside the barriers, just by Eau Rouge. So let's take a look, because even if it's one wheel over, that's it. It's a penalty. So let's have a look. Oh, he did. He exited the wrong way.
Oh, I see.
To go all the way down. He needed to go all the way down, because that is the pit lane exit. You have to go
came out too
all the
soon.
way down. He went out via the GP exit. That's why he's got the black flag.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, there we go. Now Nathan Dowd has come into the pits as well, but I think he did. Now, did he do a return to garage? That's the big thing, because that was unusual. Because Nathan has been in the pits now for nearly a minute and a half.
Yeah, I think we're going to see here, we'll jump over this real quick, but I think what we're going to see here is Nathan pull over. I think he just pulls over and stops. Let's take a look here real fast. Exactly what he does. He just pulls over and stops and then just jumps to the pits. So not only is he serving that black flag, but also going to have to probably waste about a minute and a half for the tow time. So he's going to be sitting in the pits for quite a while.
Now, bearing in mind, the thing is, Nathan Dowd can clinch this series with at least a third place finish. With what has just happened.
Oh, Carter.
Oh no, Carter Kundiger off, and that is in the barriers. No rear wing on the back of the Mercedes. Oh, well, I think in some respects, if Robert Cast was on the field tonight, I think Carter would have his hands full, but now he's got a handful, as in the fact he's had to return to garage. So let's have a look at this. This is coming through into Pouhon. He's got Robert Tinsey behind him, who's closing in at a big rate of speed, and it's on the curbs. Is it going to be the case he's going to turn in? Let's have a look. As they come through out of turn number 11, the back end just steps out on him. Might have just hit a wet spot there, I think, on the outside of the circuit, and then bang, right side, especially the left. Well, the left side, especially the left rear, took a beating. So that would be the rear drivetrain, where the drive shafts are connected via a prop shaft to the engine.
I think we might have a little rain coming down, because we also got something here, incident here. It looks like with Sherburne.
Right, this is coming down into the chicane. He's going to turn it in on the curbing.
Oh no! It's going into
Oh
pitsy.
dear! I think he could. Now let's see. Right, Chris Sherburne's in. Dale Green is in. If that rain is going to hit, I think they might be deciding to change to wet tyres. That could actually be a pretty good call right about now, because it's not getting any easier out there.
Let's jump in the car here and see if we get windshield. No, it doesn't look like any rain on the windshield here, so maybe just a little mistake there from Carter. We don't see. I mean, I don't think we've really seen Carter make too many mistakes all season long. Maybe even a handful at the most. So that's kind of unusual there for Carter to lose the back of the car right there.
Yeah, but the thing is that it could be dry in one part of the circuit here at Spa, and then it could be raining at another side. And that's the thing with when they brought out the Tempest weather system here on iRacing. It kind of got people confused, but let's see. Are we going to have any changes to wet tyres? That's the big question. But at the moment, well, Brandon Wilson seems to be okay. Samuel de Oliveira seems to be okay.
Looks like everybody's on dries from the information that I have.
Yeah, I haven't seen any changes on the SDK live timing, to be honest with you. So Sherburne, well, I think it's about right that they... I mean, the thing is, de Oliveira pitted on lap 17. So Green and Sherburne pitted 1 lap later. So here comes Sherburne, and that's how you exit out of the pit lane on the endurance layout. So... And that is not to throw... I mean, the thing is that Mitch Heller, I think that was just a genuine mistake from him. And he has not moved from pit lane. He served 30 seconds, which is effectively a black flag stop and go, a stop and hold. But he has not entered... Well, he's coming... Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's come in, and he stopped. So...
And there's a stop and go, it looks like. So he's going to be rolling. He's actually going to get back out in front of Carter. So Carter still getting some repairs on the O2 Mercedes.
The only thing I'm thinking is that if he stops and he's meant to serve a drive-through for that black flag penalty, he might still have to serve it here, Chris.
It looks like, let me see, did he clear the black flag? I'm trying to see it on my information. I see.
It doesn't look like it. I don't think it has. He still has it, so... If that doesn't get served soon, that is going to be an exclusion from the session as well, because if you don't serve that black flag penalty, you get the black flag with the cross against it, and that means you're out of the game.
Yeah, I know. In oval racing, you have 3 laps to usually serve that black flag. I'm not sure how it's going to work out here if you have a certain time limit or if it is the 3 laps, but
it would be the same. It would be the same.
Yeah, then he's got to get in the serve here pretty soon.
Yeah, so Carter Kundiger. That's caused a lot of damage to the Merc. He's been in there for nearly 4 minutes on his marks, including the toe. So, but the thing is that was a big old hit. That's the biggest hit we've seen of the night. So Mitch Heller keeping out of the way of Walker Carroll and Robert Tinsley, as Walker Carroll is now within 0.3 of a second of him. So is within striking distance. So Walker Carroll will want to see out this season with a high. I mean, when he's had flashes of brilliance, he's been absolutely mustard, but then when there's been moments where he's been either caught up in incidents that were not of his own making or one that was of his accident, his own fault, obviously with the spin earlier on, you know, that was all on him, and that was going through into Le Combe, heading into Malmedy. So it can just show that sometimes you can bring yourself back into the race, especially when it's a 90-minute endurance.
Yeah, and it looks like Tinsley had I'm not sure. Oh, well, they get together right there. But it looks like Tinsley had some kind of a mistake in the pits, because at 9 seconds with difference on the pit stops between Tinsley and Walker there.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort for the pair of them, as Tinsley's going to try and look to the inside. Oh dear, this could be very, very gnarly very, very quickly. Tinsley to the inside, but look at Walker Carroll to the outside, gets the traction now coming out of La Source. And into Aurouge-Ragnan we go once again. They're now on lap number 22, the pair respectively, as they go up the hill. Be very, very careful of track limits going through the exit of Ragnan and into the Kemmel Straight, as they will be travelling very, very quickly, close to about 170 plus miles an hour, heading into Le Combe. Tinsley shows his nose as Mo Islam gets a slowdown penalty for his troubles. So he's had an off track. Nevertheless, Brandon Wilson, with 42 and a bit minutes left to go, is 21.4 seconds up the road from Hyperion Racing teammate Alex Caruso in the Acura ARX 06. But we're going to see this replay. Now, Walker Carroll is just in the wheel tracks of Tinsley, heading into the chicane. Then he darts to the inside. And Tinsley... He might have just been caught out a little bit here. Is there a little bit of contact? Might have been a little bit of Mr. Netcode involved there. But still, Tinsley has to lock up the brakes. And then you see Carroll go to the outside out of the final corner and then put the hammer down. And then there's a little bit of wobbling from side to side. I think what Tinsley was maybe doing, just checking that everything was all right on the car.
Or he was just waving at Walker. Yeah, but it actually didn't look like they made any contact there. I think you got it right. It might be a little netcode there, because something did affect Tinsley's car, or he just broke a little too late and locked it up.
Yeah, I think also the fact of Carter Kundiger has racked up severe damage on that car. That has been sitting stationary now for nearly, well, coming up to 7 minutes in the pit lane. You might decide, well, you know what? It's the last race of the season. Most of my competitors are not here. I'm just going to finish. I think the only thing that he needs to do is just worry about bringing the car home, if he decides to. But nevertheless, even if he doesn't, as there we go, Mitch Heller comes in on what is now his 20th lap. So speed limit down here is 45 miles an hour, 60 kph. So he's got to serve a complete drive-through penalty, and this is going to be agonisingly slow.
This is drive-through
for the man in the number 303. Yeah. So it is going to have to be a drive-through penalty, otherwise the black flag will not be extinguished.
Oh, I thought he was going to do it again.
Well, the thing is that his pit box is actually down in the endurance pits, which is coming up right now. So,
oh, gotcha.
So he's just got to come through this access road, which will bring him into the second half of the pit lane. And when I was here in 2023, I saw the amount of pit boxes that were lying down at the bottom. Now, he stopped again. And he hasn't even hit his marks in the pit lane if it's meant to be a stop and hold for 30 seconds, but oh, he's having to revert.
We're just watching the adventure here.
Yeah.
Now he stopped it. Probably if it's a black flag for speeding, it's probably 40-second hold there, so it looks like he's going to get rolling again. Oh no, he retired. Or is he coming back on the track there? It looks like he's out.
Oh.
No, there he is.
Yeah, he's coming back out.
Oh, he blinked off the screen there for a second. A second there, my timing said he was out.
But to me, that is I mean, he was only stationary for less than 7.5 seconds.
He still has a black flag.
Exactly. So that he needs to serve a complete drive-through penalty. It's not a because normally if you get a black flag, it's a drive-through. So you need to serve a complete drive-through, which is not stopping in your pit box. You've got to carry to the end of the pit lane, and then that would be extinguished.
He still might win this race. He's the only GTD car left on the racetrack now at this point.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some investigative pit lane journalism from where I am at the moment, and just ask Carter.
I would take a look here at Tinsey. Still trying to reel Walker back in here. Carroll kind of caught him pretty quick there after that pit stop, but not able to drive away. So Robert Tinsey doing a good job here. He's only a couple car lengths behind Walker Carroll. He's about got him reeled back in, as Dominic Dornberg's right there lurking in the background, getting ready to lap both of them.
Right, so I have asked the question to Carter. So how much damage did you get after the hit against the wall? Question mark. 8 minutes, he's just told me. Ouch.
Well, he's been in the pits for 10, so he should be back on the racetrack by now.
But he had to tow, didn't he?
Oh, he did have to tow, so that's probably a minute to a minute and a half at least.
Yeah. At least. But who knows? So, who knows? It's up to Carter whether he decides to come back on the racetrack or not, because nevertheless, you know, when you look at the GTD side of things, Carter pretty much I mean, at the end of the day, did he take pole position? No, he didn't. Mitch Heller did. But the thing is that he can. The thing is that there's no Robert Cast here tonight. There's no Bradley Haley. So effectively, Carter, if he finishes where he is, and there we go, Mitch Heller has officially been excluded from the session.
Disqualified.
Yep.
And out. So did not get that black flag penalty served. I'm not sure. You know, I mean, he does not appear to be new to iRacing. I mean, his GTD his rating is up high enough to get him out of the AM class. So just, I'm not sure if he didn't know what he was supposed to do there, or if it was something a little confusing. But he is out of the race.
Yep, and he is a guest driver for this evening. So,
I mean, most of the black flag for iRacing rules for iRacing pretty consistent across all series and classes and leagues. So he just got he looked confused there trying to get in and out of the pits for his black flag. So I don't know. So Carter makes it back on the racetrack. He's only got to run probably maybe 3 or 4 laps, and he'll take the win here.
Well, the thing is that car has now been stationary on its marks for 12 minutes. So I'm going to ask him another.
Well, I'm looking at laps completed. Mitch completed 21.2 laps. Carter completed 18.1. So he's just got to get out and run 3.2 laps to patch Mitch Heller on the racetrack to claim another victory here in the GTDs.
Well, the thing is that he doesn't need to.
Well, not for the championship, but I mean, a win's a win, a race win, right?
I'm actually getting a response to my second question now, and I'll give you the answers soon. So are you going back out? Probably not, especially if I'm the only one in class. He's just responded, he's typing again, so thank goodness for Discord messaging. But he will stick around until the end. Good lad. Well played, Carter. Well played.
So Mitch Heller gets disqualified from the race and is going to get his first win here in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge.
I don't think he will, because a disqualification
you're right.
actually expunges it, which means Carter Kundiger
gets the win no matter
effectively he wins. He becomes the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge and Enduro Cup champion for the 2025-2026 season.
Oh, you're 100% right. I didn't think about it that way. You're right. Just not just disqualified. He is disqualified completely. So.
Yeah, so that effectively gives Carter the maximum 50 points he needs. There we go. Job done. So
took us a while, but we figured it out.
Well, it was. we got there in the end, Chris. We got.
It's all that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is that for it being very, very early. I mean, for those wondering, we're now on British summertime, which meant that when the clocks went forward, everyone lost an hour's sleep and got grumpy. Apart from myself, I wasn't the one that was included in that. I may have just missed the memo. It's like, well, when we go back to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. Well, when we go back to GMT in October later on this year, everyone's like saying, "Oh yay, we get to get an extra hour in bed," and then you realise you forgot to set your clocks back, and then you're like thinking, "Surely it's 10 o'clock." No, it's 9. Oh, we got an extra hour in bed. Yes, and then you go back to sleep.
Well, you can have the excuse of being 3 o'clock in the morning. It's only 7:30 at night for me over here, so I really don't have that same excuse. So.
Exactly, that's why my brain does not always fire on all cylinders sometimes with these early morning broadcasts, but nevertheless, it's something I've kind of gotten used to over the years, folks. But nevertheless, we are 33 minutes away from final checkered flag of the season here for Autobahn Sportscar Challenge, as we see Dominic Dernberg rounding out your top 3 at the moment. Now, Nathan Dowd has come back, but the big thing is, let's put it this way, Nathan Dowd is running 4th, Brandon Wilson is leading. Now, bearing in mind, Brandon Wilson at the moment has fastest lap, has pole position. That's an additional 2 points that he closes in to Nathan Dowd. So effectively that brings it at the moment, for any additional race points are added, that means that it puts it to 313 plays 300. And looking at with regards to the points, and I am actually going to use my keyboard.
Hey, I was going to say, are you sure you're not trying to do too much math at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Don't worry. I will be fine. Okay.
You have your abacus there. You're all good.
I've gone back to Roman times. I've got the chalk with I've got the blackboard, that looks like a tablet, and I've got the chalk stick in my hand.
Wouldn't the abacus be even older than that though?
That was around about the same time.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not going to challenge you on history.
No. Well, I'm not even going to go there, Chris. Not at this time in the morning, man. Not at this time in the morning. So, okay. Thank God for the technology. Or as they like to say in the reels, technologia, you know. Right. If it finishes like it does, Brandon Wilson will win GTP Championship by 1 point, because at the moment it's 350 plays 349 in the favour of our current race leader.
A little bit more exciting to the points championship than we thought it was going to be coming into this last race.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what happened with Nathan. Now, I'm kind of wondering whether he had a software or hardware issue that caused him to go to the pits. Now, this could be through anything that could have happened. That, I mean, one of the things we don't wish on anyone is to have one of the worst things to happen when you're running. Blue screen or a DC. I'm not saying Diet Coke, folks. I'm saying disconnects. But it looked like it was a technical issue of some kind that has affected Nathan. And for him at this point, you know, it's been a difficult one. It's been a difficult one for him. And considering the fact that with regards to the point side of things, we've already had the 2 drop rounds into consideration. Brandon has none to his credit. And it is, yeah. And I think if that's Carter doing the 352 plays 349 at the moment with regards to
Carter updating points live for you.
Brandon's got at the moment Brandon has got a 0x as well, so he's on 303. So he's on 352, so that makes all the difference. So hopefully might be able to update you on everything else as well. So let's check out LMP2. At the moment, Mo Islam it could be the fact that Walker Carroll, because at the moment Robert Tinsey has got a 0x, which gives him an additional 2 points. Walker Carroll, get this, with the drop scores taken into consideration, Walker Carroll is looking good for 2nd place in the LMP2 side of things. Well, GTD has already been decided. Carter Kundiger does take the win based on Mitch Heller being excluded. So Carter takes the GTD title. And at the moment, well, looks like Mitch Heller, Mitch Heller is actually considered as an AM. In GTPs at the moment, that's yet to be updated. Neither is LMP2's. Carter Kundiger has taken the double in GTD, like I thought he would. So it'll be Carter Kundiger, Bradley Haley and Brian Bennett that will be the top 3 in the GTD side of things. I think De Oliveira is going to run away with it, because look at this. Okay, out of the...
What is that? Sorry to cut in there, but you had a little bit of incident here with Samuel, it looks like. I just saw him stopped in the middle of the racetrack here. Let's see what he does here. Oh, I guess catches that curb on the inside into the water. Oh, a little bit of contact there too. A little more than I thought.
So that is going to be the... Oh, he's brought all the kitty litter onto the circuit, and here comes Walker Carroll round the outside. Soon shady. And at the moment, it looks like it will be Composite Performance at the moment, who are looking very, very hot to trot when it comes to the overall team standings. So, yeah, it seems like quite a lot is going to transpire in the next 26 minutes and a quarter. But Brandon Wilson at the minute, who'd have thought of that? He would be the man that would come back at the final round of the season. And Nathan Dowd, after that drama, is over a lap down off of the race leader. He's about a minute and 30 behind Dominic Dernberg, and despite the fact of him like ripping through the lap times at the moment, Nathan is currently on a 2-minute 2.7. Dominic Dernberg's last lap was a 2-minute 3.223. Looks like De Oliveira is going to come into the pits and repair the damage. There you see, well, Carter's car is just going to sit, look there, sitting pretty.
Well, we are starting to get our second round of pit stops. Mo isn't come in and pitted just a lap ago, so it looks like we're getting our second round of stops starting up here. So it looks like maybe Samuel still had to pit one more time anyway, but unfortunately going to be a little bit longer stop than you'd hoped for.
Yeah, definitely the case. So still, there's plenty left of the race to go. So we see sparks flying from the rear diffuser of Walker Carroll's number 9 Delora P217, coming out of Rivage and heading into, well, coming out of Malmedy heading into Rivage. Alex Caruso, the number 44 Hyperion Racing Acura ARX 06 comes down pit road for what will be the final time as Wilson makes his way through into Les Combes. There's Tinsley excuse me, trying to close the gap on Walker Carroll, but Walker Carroll is actually quite a lot quicker in these adverse, indecisive conditions. Chris Sherburn leading the way in GTD AM now that Samuel De Oliveira has pitted. De Oliveira, well, had to repair that damage, that slight damage sustained to the right rear of the Corvette, and that now exits pit lane for what will be the final time for the number 522 from Portugal.
Must not have too much damage. Only 44 seconds in the pits, and he had about a minute out of distance between himself and Green, or excuse me, between him and Sherburne when he came in for the pit stop. So I think once these pit stops cycle through, Samuel's still going to find his way out in front.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more the case of just getting the car to the end of it all, and the way things are looking, as you rightly said there, Chris, and nice little statement there, but made by your good self, that the way that things will go is that De Oliveira will end up at the front end of the field when we get the pit stop cycles. So looking at Green and Sherburn, the last time these two pitted, that was back on lap 18. Brandon Wilson now pits for the second and final time. Dominic Dernberg is in P2. Now this could be very, very interesting. Reference the GTP side of things, because Dominic Dernberg, well, at the minute he's on course for since Jerez, well, I'm looking at his results so far. Since Bathurst, he has obviously placed in the top 3 every single time. It's been a mixture of seconds and thirds. So Mount Panorama, January 19th, second. Third at Jerez, 2 weeks later on February 2nd. He now comes into the pits for the final time. Second at Indy, third at Sebring, third at Hockenheim, second at Aragon, and at the moment he's on course for 40 points here. But it is looking very, very favourable for the crew from Hyperion Racing. The 1-2 combination, it's like a jab and a straight right in boxing. Wilson and Caruso. Now Caruso has come out of pit lane. The big thing is that when does Walker Carroll decide to pull the trigger? He decides to do so now, which means that I'm sure that Tinsley will... Oh no, Tinsley's going on for another lap. So this will be quite interesting to see how long Walker Carroll stays in pit lane. Now, Brandon Wilson was on his marks in the pit lane for just under 24 seconds. Caruso just under 21. So Islam won't. Well, Islam at the moment is currently fueling. Carroll yet to hit his marks. And Dernberg now out after 21.4 seconds in his pit box. Walker Carroll 29.83. Mo Islam. Well, that's a little bit long there for the number 91. That could cost him a little. Now he's been in there for a little bit longer. Sign what? Oh, hang on a second. If that goes over 50 seconds, that's going to be more than likely. He might have been caught speeding in pit lane coming into it. That is. Oh yeah, that looks like that's a penalty for Mo Islam. I think maybe for speeding in the pit lane, or whether that is repairing damage. So Walker Carroll is out. So Tinsley's got to make this a very, very good lap, very, very good in lap. Yeah, Mo Islam, I don't know what's happened there to the number 91 from Canada. He is not moving.
Is he still? Oh no, there he is.
He's still in the pit lane. That's a minute and a half.
That's a little damage.
So,
hey, and another interesting point here. I'm looking at Sherburne and Dale Green both. They pitted back on lap 18. Both of them have only completed 29 laps right now, and they look like they're averaging a little over 2 minutes a lap. Sherburne and Green may not have to pit again here.
Well, and then that would break the win streak of Juan Samuel de Oliveira from Portugal.
If my math in my head is correct, Sherburne may be able to stretch this out because he is not going to complete another 7 laps. Well, it's going to be close, actually. So maybe if he backs off and conserves some fuel here a little bit, because it looks like he's probably got about maybe 10 more laps left to go, maybe a little bit less, maybe 9. And it's going to be close. So we'll see if he can stretch this out.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting indeed, because we've got 19 minutes on the counter left to go. And Mo Islam has been sitting there for 2.5 minutes. Now, that fills me with a little bit of concern for the number 91, because he is the teammate of Dernberg and of Carroll for composite performances. So, I mean, for Mo Islam, I'm a bit more concerned in terms of where he sits in it, because at this moment in time, that now means that he will miss out on 3rd place by 4 points, and that would be a big hit to him. Now, bearing in mind that Robert Tinsley has had a 0x so far, and if there was to be a 1x, then that means that Robert Tinsley would lose 2 points, but then the gap would be down to 2. And then the only thing that would need to happen, but that is really, really weird, why Mo Islam has now been in the pits for, maybe he's decided, you know what, I've had a good run, I'm going to be happy with P3 in the series, because also the other thing we've got to consider here, Chris, is the team's championship. So when you think about it, Dominic Dernberg on course for a P3, Mo Islam P3 in LMP2, and then Carter Cunningham is going to be the winner in GTD, no matter what, because of obviously no Trevor Wodorowski, no TC Watkins. Mitch Heller, I think, was apparently put in the AMS according to the points tally. So from that perspective, so basically you're looking at the fact of, okay, Cundigan's got both GTD titles in the bag, and the main thing that they want now is that they want that team's title. That's the big thing that they want. They want that team's championship. And because of the fact that Sector 5 Haley Agency have, you know, that it's going to be, I think the thing is that composite performance with 2 third places and a first, that basically I think has just been more than enough to secure them the team's title with just over 16.5 minutes to go unofficially, but from what I can approximately work out.
Well, as you said, a little over 60 minutes left to go, and I am completely shocked. It hasn't rained. We've had maybe a little bit of sprinkle at one point, but with the chance of rain that we had here, I think everybody came into this race. We practiced in the rain, we qualified in the rain. It has been, I mean, we had a few wet spots here on the track, which has caught a few drivers out of sorts there a few times, but for the most part, the track has stayed dry. So really shocking here tonight for sure.
Yeah, I've just had a message from Carter Cunningham. He said, "I'll just do the points as they run if you want to monitor the point sheet." So, saying awesome, thanks for that.
There you can do less math.
That's why he's sticking around. He's making our lives a little bit easier rather than me having to worry about trying to do mental arithmetic in my head at this time in the morning. What a gentleman Mr. Cunningham is, eh?
It's been a pleasure. It's just been an absolute pleasure working the Autobahn series this year. My first time with this group, and they're just a fantastic group of drivers. They always put on a good show, and we're going to have to see what comes from next season, but it's going to kind of be missed. It's been our every other Monday nights now for about 7 months, just about, except for a couple weeks here and there. But it's going to miss this series, but also going to miss some of the fantastic races we've had here as well.
Right, okay. This is proving to be quite interesting because now you know what I said about the fact it was 350 plays 349. It is the case as Robert Tinsley now comes into the pits for his final stop. He was in the pits for quite a bit. I think he was just trying to max out the fuel mileage on the number 82 satellite racing car. He was in the pits for 38 seconds last time, let's not forget.
Yeah, if I'm Nathan Dowd, I'm trying to get word to Dornberg, hey man, $5, $10 if you pull over, let me get
I think Dominic Dornberg's saying never on a month of Sundays, sunshine, never on a month of Sundays. That's never going to happen. You know what? I think the thing is that Dominic, along with Nathan and Brandon, those have been the three people that have really stuck with the GTPs. Even though that, let's say for Brandon, I mean, obviously he wasn't with us at Aragon last time, wasn't with us at Indy. So in some respects, that's kind of helped him in terms of the battle for the GTP side of things. But Nathan has, I think, with what happened earlier, it's going to be a bit of pill for him to swallow in the Sector 5 07 Caddy, because when Brandon had those two big wipeouts at the top of Brock's Skyline at Mount Panorama, we all thought that Brandon was going to have to be on the back foot. But he's there's been a couple of rounds where he hasn't been with us, but that has then counted towards his drop scores, thereby it being the case that he's come back, and I think he's just had that second wind, if you will, Chris, that he's just gone, okay, I know I'm that far behind, but I know that if things work out my way here at Spa, then I know that I've got a chance. And that's all that a racing driver needs, is that little slither, that little glimmer of hope, of opportunity, and it sort of gives them a little bit of a kick in the tush a little bit, just to say, right, okay, I've got nothing to lose, I've got everything to gain. And that's exactly how he's played it. But look at this, Carroll versus Tinsley, through into Blanchimont, headlights ablaze. Tinsley and Carroll side by side into the chicane. Carroll gets through. Does he deep brake into the corner? No, he doesn't, and he gets through. That was another clean pass there by Walker Carroll. But now what Robert Tinsley is doing, and I think this is quite very much strategic when you think about it, he was in the pits on the last lap, so now he's taken tyres on the car. I don't think he did, because he was only on his marks for just under 20 seconds, so I think that Robert Tinsley may have taken tyres on the first stint, and then decided, well, I feel comfortable with the car enough that these tyres should last until the end of the race. Well, there's 11.5 minutes to go, and Walker Carroll, 24 seconds, and look at the closing gap. It's coming down all the time. It's a very long straightaway here into Leocombe off of the Kemmel, and the gap is less than 2.5 tenths of a second. So I think Tinsley's still got an opportunity of getting a race win here in the final race of the season.
Yeah, and it looks like Carroll was in the pits for about 4 seconds longer, like you said. So I think Carroll might have taken tires right there. Tinsley did not. So let's see if it comes into play right here. See if Carroll's able to put some separation here. Oh, a little bit off right there. Let's see if Tinsley can take advantage of it.
Now into Bouillon, they've got Brandon Wilson closing in on the 6 very, very quickly. So got to be, you've got to have eyes in the back of the head right about now, because the number 4 for Hyperion Racing, we're right on board driver's eye view. This is a wonderful wait. Now look, the rain is starting to fall with 10.5 minutes to go. We were waiting, and the rain is slowly starting to show its hand. And that's going into campus, and then here comes Brandon Wilson on Robert Tinsley through Curb Paul Frere. Now that rain is starting to show. That is going to be crucial, because these drivers have 10 minutes to make their way through at this point. And the thing is, the battle between Carroll and Tinsley is for second in the LMP2 side of things. And well, all I can say now is there's no rain on that windshield of Robert Tinsley right about now as they go through into the source. But like I said, here at Spa, it can be bone dry somewhere, and somewhere else around another part of the circuit it can be raining. So the big €64,000 question that needs to be answered right about now is, how brave do our drivers want to be when they try and do the old Jensen Button trick? Wet track, slick tyres, because that could be incoming very, very shortly.
Yeah, it looks like it's just raining maybe down here on the south end of the racetrack. Let's jump in the car here. We're making our way back down here to the south part of the racetrack with Wilson, but no more rain on the windshield. So just looks like just a couple of spots. So we still might make it here this last 9 minutes without having anybody put wet tires on. I think it's going to stay pretty dry. The track's had a lot of laps on it. It's pretty warm out there, so even if we do get some light showers, I don't expect it to stick on the racetrack very long, or at least not puddle up unless it's just a downpour.
Well, if it does become a downpour, then the decision has to be made by the driver, and the driver alone, as in to say, right, how confident do I feel right about now? Have I got the intestinal fortitude, or aka a four-letter word that begins with G and ends in S and is called guts? That's what these drivers have to figure out. The GTDs might not have such a bigger problem, because as soon as you get that wet weather coming in, it kind of reduces the aerodynamics of the GTPs and the LMP2s. GTPs being the more heavily aero-dependent of all our respective classes on the circuit tonight. But Chris Sherburn looking for what could be a welcome way to round out the season. Now looking at Chris Sherburn's previous results. Now I'm going to start from the beginning of the season. So Chris Sherburn, 7th at Daytona, 7th at Road Atlanta, 7th at Motegi, 7th at Mosport, wins at Long Beach, 6th at Road America, 2nd at the Algarve, 3rd at Bathurst, 2nd at Jerez, 3rd at Indy, 4th at Sebring, 2nd at Hockenheim, and a 3rd at Aragon. And the way he's going, he's got a 0x as well, and that's pretty crucial, because that will be enough to put him ahead of Dale Green in terms of the GTD AM. So obviously under the Gone Broke Racing banner for the majority of the season, but he's now under Sector 5 provided by Haley Agency. Could we see that Chris Sherburn might get his first win? But look, the wipers are on now. There we see it into Lefagne. And there is the Oliveira, who is absolutely taking chunks out of the gap between himself and Dale Green. Dale Green's last lap here, Chris, was 2:22.180. De Oliveira, a mid 2:18.9. So this could be the decisive moment that if De Oliveira catches up with Green, Sherburne could be very much booking himself as his place, but no, off goes at Stavlo De Oliveira. Whilst I was saying that, the point I'm making here, folks, is that there is a 5.8 second gap between Dale Green and Samuel De Oliveira. Now, the big thing was the last lap alone, De Oliveira took 3.2 seconds out of the car in front, and there he is. There's Dale Green just about to go into La Source. So De Oliveira has a target in mind, not to go for the W. He was leading until he had that major spin out a little bit earlier on, which meant that he had to take an additional trip down pit lane. Meantime, Alex Caruso is holding on to second position. Nathan Dowd at the moment, well, he is going to have I think he might be having a little talk with himself, as if to say, you could have been second. You could have been second in this, and he would have picked up that win, and thereby picked up the title. But it's a case of woulda, coulda, shoulda, isn't it, Chris?
Well, I mean, he just kind of pulled over and then towed to the pit. So I'm not sure if he just had to, something happened where he had to get out of the rig and step away or something like that, because he didn't really have any damage. He didn't have really an off. He just kind of drove off the racetrack and then towed to the pits, and that tow to the pits cost him at least a minute and a half. So that's the big difference here. That put him basically down here in the 4th spot, now a lap down, as you saw Caruso right there in front of him. So the first two cars here in the GTP have both put a lap on Dowd. Dornberg's still a ways back now, but his chance at the championship went away as soon as he towed into the pits.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So Carter Kundiger has just said that Nathan Dowd actually received a black flag for something, not 100% sure. So a black flag has cost Nathan Dowd a potential GTP championship.
Well, he could have come in and served that black flag and not towed in. That tows would really cost him a lot more time. I mean, he could have just came in and served the penalty, but he chose to pull over and tow to the pits, which cost him even extra time.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. But sometimes, I think when he knew that he had that black flag, I think he probably felt, it might be game over right now. Meantime, Walker Carroll starting to pull away from Robert Tinsley. The gap is a second and a half, with just over 3 3/4 minutes left to go. And Brandon Wilson has just started the penultimate lap of the season finale for 2025 and 2026. And look at this, Dale Green, lap time last time round, 2 minutes 21.194. De Oliveira, 2 minutes 18.450. De Oliveira is absolutely flying, but he's only got 2 laps to get through and pass Dale Green for that second position. It could have been the fact that now Carter Cunningham, thank you for the info. The cones at the hairpin got taken out when he was entering the pits, so he rejoined the track right after the hairpin, so he did a Mitch Heller. So, another driver that fell foul of the GP variation, whereas we are using the Endurance, which has that longer pit lane length, as we are starting to see nightfall. Headlights ablaze here at the Ardennes Forest for Spa-Francorchamps. And look, De Oliveira, he's trying not to do any Travis Pastrana heroics here, by our Portuguese man of war. He is going to cap off potentially, well, it will be with the podium, but this man here is very soon going to go on to what will be the 43rd and final lap of the season finale of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge and Endurance Cup here at the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. Through at high speed goes Brandon Wilson, the number 4 Hyperion Racing BMW M V8 hybrid at breakneck speed at over 180 plus miles an hour. Hard on the brakes all the way down to first gear. Now through the left, and then it's the run to the line. White flag in the air for Brandon Wilson, Who'd have thought this would be part of the story in the GTP division? Goes all the way down to first gear, tight to the wall, a little bit of a bump on the inside at the apex of Eau Rouge as we head on board. Driver's eye view. Let's just keep an eye on how committed this man is going through into Eau Rouge et Radion, up the hill, sparks flying from the rear of the car, through into Radion for what is the final time, and at breakneck speed, headlights ablaze on the BMW, and down the Kemmel straight he goes.
Dale Green pits.
Oh, Dale Green pits, so De Oliveira is going to get second position, so Dale Green, I think that is going to be a quick splash and dash for there. I mean, he tried to do the one stop of Chris Sherburn in the Acura. I think might have timed that to perfection, because he has been looking for a second win for a very, very long time in the GTD AM side of things, and he's looking pretty good. I mean, Chris Sherburn, like I said, he did have a win back on November 24th at Long Beach, of all places, and he is the one. He is, yeah, you can tell he's lifting just by the fact he knows that he needs to get that car home. And here comes Nathan Dowd and Walker Carroll to the inside at No Name. Chris stays out of the way. Carroll with a big rate of speed. But more to the point, Brandon Wilson, what can you say about the man from Hyperion Racing? Did not join us for the season opener back at Daytona on September the 22nd, but more to the point, what this has meant is that with Nathan Dowd being all the way down in 4th position, it is going to go down to the last run out of the final corner, and by 1 point, Brandon Wilson becomes the GTP champion for 2025 and 2026 for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge, and I think he might have also just wound up he might have just, let's just see, it's probably going to be the fact that he won't take the Autobahn Endurance Cup, but it's going to be a Hyperion Racing one too. Alex Caruso out of the final corner. He's going to take second on the road, and the way things are going, it's going to go the way of Dominic Dernberg, who at the moment is a little bit further back. Here he is coming through out of Stavlo into Kerr Paul Frere. Now, bearing in mind, Brandon Wilson, by 1 point, has just taken the GTP overall title, but Dominic Dernberg, with a 3rd place, 40 points. Here goes Chris Sherburn, and for the first time since Long Beach, he picks up P1 in GTD AM, ahead of Samuel De Oliveira, who was closing in. Walker Carroll wins, and I think takes second of the LMP2.
I think Sherburn's out of fuel. He's actually going to get a push from Oliveira right there.
But he crossed the line. He did cross the line.
Oh yeah, he did cross the line, but I think he ran out of fuel because De Oliveira reeled him in right there.
But get this, Dominic Dernberg, P3, that now secures him the Autobahn Endurance Cup title for 2025 and 2026 by 5 points ahead of Nathan Dowd. Brandon Wilson was just a further 2 behind, as the celebratory donuts, like we see in the DTM at season's end at Hockenheim, they are putting on a show for the fans here in the grandstands of Eau Rouge. And Walker Carroll, well, what can you say about that man? He has just secured himself second in the series. Overall, LMP2, Kadin Richardson takes the title from Mo Islam by 12 points. GTD, Carter Kundinger, who has been hard at work behind the scenes, takes the Autobahn Endurance Cup. And let's put something into perspective. Not only has Kadin Richardson taken LMP2 in the overall standings, but he's also taken the Autobahn Endurance crown. The same can be said to Samuel De Oliveira, the man from Portugal who switched from Mustang to Corvette, takes P2, and with it wins the Autobahn Endurance Cup in GTD AM by 34 points. More to the case, it is now pretty much confirmed that your 2025-2026 Autobahn Sports Car Challenge Teams Champion is composite performance. Congratulations to the trio of Dominic Dernberg, Mo Islam, and Carter Kundiger that have wrapped up the team standings, and it is by a big margin. 3,710 points. Sector 5 by Haley Agency, second on 3,372, and Fury Simsport 3,040. But Brandon Wilson, what a comeback for the man from Hyperion Racing, being followed with a 1-2 for the team in GTP, courtesy of Alex Caruso. Well, let's get underway with the Autobahn post-race interview show here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Let's bring in Brandon Wilson. Brandon,
like
can
that.
you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Let
Sweet.
me be the bearer of fantastic news.
I thought you were
By
about to say bad
one
news.
single solitary point, my friend,
Oh my
you
god.
are the champion overall in GTP. 350 plays 349. You got a pole position, fastest lap, and 50 points to your credit. Congratulations, my friend. Well done.
Oh gosh. And I was actually for that race, I got one off track. Otherwise I would have had 0 off tracks as well. Jeez, I did not realize it was that close. I was hopeful. I'm so glad my team was able to hop in for this team a little since I was in London for the last round. I didn't have any more drop weeks. So I was nervous, but yeah, man, I just tried to control what I could control, do everything I could, and just let the cards fall how they may.
Yeah, I mean, apparently we got word from Carter that Nathan got a black flag for exiting via the GP exits because we were using the endurance layout this time, which meant everyone had to go. So, and he wasn't the only one. Mitch Heller did it as well and got a black flag, and then didn't serve the drive-through penalty and promptly got the black flag with the white cross, which means disqualified from the session. But nevertheless, by 1 point, buddy. 1 point.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't see you at Indy. Obviously, we didn't see you at Aragon because you were in London last time 2 weeks ago. But nevertheless, Hyperion Racing takes a GTP title here in 2026. That must sound really good, with it also being a 1-2 thanks to Alex Caruso in the 44 Acura.
Yeah, again, I just want to shout out my teammate Alex for just last second hopping on. Like, it was crazy. I'm so glad they did that. Super appreciative. And yeah, I'm super stoked for this win. To win the championship and to win this race. Like, I feel like I really executed on all facets here, especially in quality. I don't know where that lap came from, because after the tires were completely, but then I tried going dries after that, and that was a no-go. But yeah, it's funny because the last championship I won in PRL, literally the exact same. It was a title fight into the last round at Spa, and the guy I was battling with had some unforeseen circumstances, and I ended up winning. So I don't know, maybe I just have good luck here.
Well, at least you can have a celebratory drink now that you've wrapped things up. Also, just need to let you know about how you did in the Autobahn Endurance Cup. P3 overall. It wasn't that much in it because Dominic took the Autobahn Endurance Cup on 162. Nathan 157. You 155. So a first in the overall title and third in the Autobahn Endurance Cup. So not a bad result for someone who didn't start with us at Daytona, but you definitely made your mark earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to put down some consistent results for my team and just for myself. And it was such a fun season. It was a long season, but it feels good to be done with it and end on top.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. Well done, buddy. Listen, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank in particular?
I, of course, want to thank God first, and then also thank my team, Hyperion Racing, and our sponsors, G-Performance, not G-Performance, Sim Gaming Expo, and iPredictor, as well as TAM Livery for helping us do what we do.
Well, Brandon, congratulations, buddy. Thanks for talking to us and always taking the time to speak to us when you've had a good result in the office. But look forward to seeing how you get on with whatever is next on the cards for yourself with the Hyperion Racing Squad. And congratulations to the team for a 1-2 tonight with you and Alex Caruso in GTP.
Yeah, thank you guys. Best as always.
Big thank you there to Brandon Wilson. Let's bring in the man who took the win in the GTD AM and wraps up second in the series. Chris Sherburn, do you hear us?
Oop, yep. A little quiet, but yep.
Well, firstly, good evening, Chris. How are you doing, buddy? You all right?
Somebody needs to pinch me.
Yeah, because I've got some really, really good news to share to you, buddy. Firstly, your first win since Long Beach, but not only that, you have wrapped up the runners. You are runner-up in both the GTD AM title race and also in the Endurance Cup. How does that sound with picking up the last race of the season? We could tell that you were probably marginal on fuel, and then we see you get a little push from Samuel de Oliveira across after the line, because you must have been on fumes coming out of that final chicane.
I'm not sure if fumes was the right word. It was actually cutting out on me on the run down to the braking zone into the final chicane. I knew I was going to be marginal going on to the last lap. Only had 3/4 of a lap of fuel in the tank, but I saw the white flag and had about 15 seconds back to Samuel and figured roll the dice.
Well, the roll of the dice, it definitely meant you got lucky number 7 tonight, my friend, but still, nevertheless, it's great to see that, you've stayed with the tried and trusty Acura NSX GT3 all season long, despite the fact we now see you in Sector 5 Haley Agency colours, unlike the Gone Broke Racing, which I still like the little nod that you've got on the right side of the rear bumper on there as well. So always being true to your roots. But we did see that Dale did have to pit quite late in the race, I think with 2 laps to go, and he had to duck into pit lane. So I think the Acura definitely likes to sip its fuel rather than drink it like the Aston Martin's twin turbo V8 does.
It was a lot of work. It definitely didn't want to do it naturally. I knew going in, my race tonight was against Dale, and just kind of watching the gap, trying to save fuel when I could, and had a bit of luck roll my way.
Well, nevertheless, to finish second place in both the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge and the Autobahn Endurance Cup, I think you're going to have to pinch yourself for a few more days to come. But well done on the victory tonight. And before we let you go, Chris, anyone in particular you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'll give a huge shout out to the Gone Broke Racing and Sector 5 guys. Been racing with them for years and years, and good group of guys to hang out and run some laps with.
Well, Chris, whatever adventures are next in your sports car travels, we wish you all the very, very best, and thank you so much for taking the time to jump on in with us for the post-race show here. But well done on capturing the Vice Championship status in both the Sports Car Challenge and the Endurance Cup for 2025 and 2026. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for broadcasting these.
Big thank you there to Chris Sherburn. Now we have to turn our attention to another individual that also picked up the win, and it is Fury Sim Sports Walker Carroll. Walker, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay, we'll just give Walker a second.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yep, there we go. Walker, congratulations on the W, my friend, in LMP2 in the final race of the season. And I'm pleased to tell you the following. You are now the runner-up in both the Sports Car Challenge, and you just missed out by, I think it was about 22 points. You finished P4 in the Endurance Cup this season, but nevertheless, we we have to say congratulations to you, buddy, for taking the win. Bit of a lot of dicing between you and Rob Tinsey in the latter third of the race.
Oh yeah.
But still, to pick up a win here at one of the most testing circuits, the iconic Spa-Francorchamps, to get a win under your belt to round off the season is a pretty good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew I had to get it because I understood what the point situation was, and I wanted to get second because I've missed a few races that were out of my control, and I knew if I won, I would be P2.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I mean, there's been times when where we've seen you, great pace, and then all of a sudden there's either been a moment that has caused you drama and caused you to lose points, which we were hoping you were going to be in the fight for the battle. I mean, we know each other through the Sim Racing Republic Sportscar Championship that has recently come to an end as well. I've been commentating on that for a few of their rounds. I mean, LMP2 has always been a big strength of yours, and it came good tonight despite the fact that everyone was on dry tyres. Parts of the track were dry, and even you had a moment, and you still came back. You weathered the storm here at Spa and came back and still got the W.
Yeah, I tried to short fuel on my first stop and to get ahead of Robert, but ended up coming out right behind him, which was kind of a mistake. And I knew that I just had to push by him and then just go flat out and make up any time I can. And fortunately, I was able to. It's just qualifying laps after qualifying laps.
But nevertheless, it's been a long season, 7 months in total. To still get the win on the final round of the championship and to pick up P2 overall in LMP2. What are your final thoughts, buddy?
It was really fun. I'm really glad that to have something to race in with some people, and thank you so much for broadcasting and commentating over all of them. And thanks to Carter for organizing all that and running it so well.
Brilliant. Well, Walker, thanks so much for your time, buddy. We really do appreciate it. And hopefully our paths will cross in the not too distant future, my friend. Well done tonight. Yeah,
I plan on doing whatever season's next in this, and probably SRR again if you're also doing that.
Awesome. Well, take care, Walker. We'll chat sure on soon. Take care.
Great. Thank you so much. Bye.
Right, okay, we're now going to pull in our final two interviewees of the series, and well, it's two of the teammates. We've got. Well, first of all, let's head back to GTP because I want to have a chat with this man. Dominic Dernberg, you are the 2025-2026 GTP Endurance Cup champion. How does that sound to you right about now?
Oh well, after the season I've had, it's a very nice way to top it off. It's been a tough one coming back from a little break from racing, and to make it even better, being part of the team championship, the winning team makes it even better.
It does sound quite sweet when you say it, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, I got a title, and so has the team. It's like it's been a joint effort between you, Mo, and Carter as well. I mean, obviously Carter now ruling the roost in GTD. I mean, we'll grab him in just a few seconds to have a chat with us as well. But I mean, we did see obviously the drama earlier on when you went for the move on Griffin, coming out of the chicane. I think it was at Lifan heading into campus, and there was room for you to make the move, and then it looked like he was trying to turn in. I'm not too sure if he gauged the gap correctly.
That was a full mistake on my end. At that moment I had tunnel vision on trying to stay with Nathan, and when I went to the inside, I could in the braking zone I could see that my room was disappearing, and there was the puddle right up against the curb, and that's where all the grip got lost, and that's how I ended up sliding into him. So that was all on me there on the first incident. The second one, that's again, it's tough because in dry conditions, 100%, we would have been fine, but I couldn't go any further to the inside because again, there would have been water there. So the track made it very tricky today to gauge some moves, even through traffic. You had to be extra careful and think ahead before you were going for anything.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the thing is, not only did you pick up the Autobahn Endurance Cup title, you also finished P3 in the Sportscar Challenge rankings and GTP overall on 324 points. So only 26 behind Brandon, who ended up getting 52 points and finishing ahead of Nathan, who was leading with what could have been a fairly manageable gap, but still it just goes to show that championships go down to the wire. But Dominic, thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with us here on JP Broadcasting. And we'd just like to give you the opportunity to say a few thank yous before we let you go.
Yeah, first and foremost, I got to thank Carter and Mo as my teammates at Composite Performance. It's really great to get to race with a couple great guys like that. A special thanks to Carter for not only putting on the season but managing it behind the scenes. It takes more work than some people think to put on a championship like this, and the quality racing that we've had over the years is the result of all that hard work. And I just want to thank you guys too for putting on a great show every other week when we go out on track.
Brilliant. Well, Dominic, thanks for your time, buddy. Congratulations on becoming the GTP Autobahn Endurance Champion, and also for picking up P3 in the Sports Car Challenge. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
And for our final interview, let's bring in one of the big men behind the scenes, but this man is a double champion. Carter Kundiger, GTD Sports Car Challenge and Endurance Cup champion, along with Composite Performance taking the team's title at the last round. Congratulations, first of all. But firstly, we here at JP Broadcasting have to say a big thank you to you and everyone behind the scenes at Autobahn for allowing us to broadcast every single round of the series right the way from when we started at Daytona back in September 22nd last year. It's been a 7-month journey, but it's been a long one for everyone involved, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's been crazy. Like that's just how Autobahn is. It's not. It's we have our sprint races, we have our endurance races, and honestly, the series itself is definitely an endurance race. Yeah, no, I mean it was honestly awesome. At the beginning of the season, we had some great battles. At the end of the season, we had some great battles. Like it was really cool to see, and I'm super happy with how Autobahn was, and I'm glad that we could put on a good show for you guys as well and support JP Broadcasting.
And also, your recruitment drive for the last round of the series did work. And then we found out that 5 people decided, well, I haven't set a time in qualifying. I don't know how I'm going to get on. So they kind of bailed on us a little bit last minute. But obviously, the big rivalry that we've had in GTD for the majority of the season, we have to give a shout out to Rob Cast, who is out for dinner with his wife who's celebrating her birthday. And I did say at the top of the show, well, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, especially if it's your better half. So I think Rob's definitely in, he's got some brownie points tonight. But nevertheless, we saw some great battles between you and Rob all the way through the season, trading fastest laps, trading pole positions, trading wins. But still, you're the one that ends up ruling the roost in GTD on both titles. You must be feeling pretty good after that because it was, like I said, it's a long slog. We've been with you all the way, and despite you having to switch machinery from Mustang to Mercedes, it finally came out good in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it was honestly super enjoyable this year. I mean, Rob for sure gave me a run for my money. Like, I started the season. I mean, I've been a prototype driver for all that I've known of iRacing, and I said, you know what, screw it, let's try driving a GT3 car. And obviously out of the gate, it was quite a it was quite a challenge from Rob. Let's just put it that way. And we made the decision to switch from the Mustang to the Mercedes to try and get just a little bit more of a competitive edge on him. And it was nice to see that as the season went on, I could actually outpace him, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, it was super awesome. Obviously, I would have loved to challenge him these last 2 races here. I think Spa was definitely, I was coming into this round a bit worried, if I'm honest. And then, just obviously with him having to get his brownie points, it's obviously fortunate for me, unfortunate for him, but also at the same time fortunate for him that he's getting brownie points. So, no, I definitely have to give a shout out to him. He pushed me to be better this year and this season. And yeah, I don't think I'd be where I am right now without him racing me every week.
One final question before I ask you to give your thanks to the relevant people, etc., etc. Is there any news about what the future for Autobahn Sportscar Challenge and Endurance Cup holds in the coming weeks and months, leading up to maybe season 16 being on the cards?
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Obviously Autobahn is quite a lengthy thing, so I like to take these first couple months after Autobahn is done to not think about Autobahn, and just kind of focus on other things. But, obviously I think there's going to have to be a lot of reflection on my end. I was a bit disappointed with the turnout for this season, and so I think change will definitely have to come. I don't know what the change will be, but there will definitely be some change, whether it's anything from season length to format to cars to you name it, like date, maybe time of the race. Like there's going to be a lot of things to think about in terms of season 16, but we will see come later this summer.
Indeed. Well, Carter, thank you so much for your time. Before we let you go, buddy, anyone you'd like to thank in particular?
Yeah, so obviously first I'll shout out all the guys at Composite Performance. It's getting the team championship, especially in Autobahn, it's a very prestigious championship. Back from season 1, it's always been super, super competitive. So it was awesome to have Bradley and the Haley agency along, giving a donation, having pretty much the team championship being our big prize winner of the season. So I got to give a shout out to the Composite guys for showing up week after week. Whether they came in with 2 laps of practice or they came in fully prepared, they were here, which was awesome. And in a season like this, that's all it takes. You dedicate yourself and you commit to coming in every week. That's what it takes to win a championship. And then, obviously I have to give a shout out to all the guys in Autobahn who showed up for pretty much every single week. I mean, just going down the list here, out of the guys that, I mean, we may have had low numbers for some of these races, but like Chris Sherburne, Dale Green, Dominic Dornenberg, Nathan Dowd showed up for every single race this season. And there were so many guys too that showed up for majority of them, like Samuel. We have Robert Tinsey, Robert Cass, Walker Carroll, Mo Islam, Caden Richardson, like Bradley Haley, myself showed up for almost everyone that we could. So really all those guys I got to give a big shout out to. And then obviously you guys as well for, showing the world of YouTube what a show we put on here at Autobahn. So thank you all.
Brilliant. Some very wonderful words from Carter Kundiger, our GTD Sportscar Challenge and Enduro Cup champion for 2025 and 2026, and also part of the team that wins the series. And congratulations to the team at Composite Performance for winning by a considerable margin. Carter, thank you so much for your time as always, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Well, that is pretty much a wrap on our broadcast here, but you know what? I want to hear a final few reflective thoughts from my partner in crime, who I've been with for pretty much the entirety of the season since I joined at round 2 when we went into battle at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Chris, it has been a long slog for the pair of us up here in the broadcast booth, but you know what? We've had some wonderful races. We've had some spectacular and dramatic ones. I mean, who can forget when we came back into 2026 with the 7th round on January 5th at the Algarve, which was absolutely saturated with so much water coming from the skies up above, to having a championship finale here at Spa. There was some high points, there was some really good battles, and we have some very worthy champions.
Yeah, 7 months, 14 rounds here with the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. This is my first full season of any kind of endurance racing, and it's just been a pleasure. I mean, as Carter spoke, it's just they put together just one of the best series out there, and it's been fun. But I wish I had some replays from some of the adventures we had this year. Like you said, Gobert was just pouring down rain. Bathurst was an adventure in its own, and. Just some of the most iconic tracks you can ran in this series. Every week it just seemed like just another iconic racetrack. And to end it here at Spa, 90 minutes to finish off season 15 here at the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. It's just been a pleasure, and it's as always, Alex. It's just been a pleasure working with you, buddy. It's been, like you said, it's been just a long 7 months, but every time I get to spend the evening up here with you, buddy, it makes it even that much better.
Yeah, and I think as ex Premier League footballer turned actor Vinnie Jones once said, it's been emotional. That wraps up our coverage here on JP Broadcasting. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone involved behind the scenes here at the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge that has put in so much hard work, dedication into getting all these races arranged. A very, very lengthy calendar that started back on September the 22nd, 2025, where we first went to the World Center of Racing at Daytona International Speedway. Then we headed to Road Atlanta, Motegi, Mosport, Long Beach, Road America, Portimao, Bathurst, Jerez, Indianapolis, Sebring, Hockenheim, last time out at Aragon, and to finish here at the iconic Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes forests of Belgium. Our champions have now been decided for the 2025 and 2026 Autobahn Sports Car Challenge and Endurance Cup. On behalf of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Chris Murphy, thank you so much for tuning in to every single broadcast. And we hope that you enjoy, you like what you see, and that will encourage you all to like, share, and subscribe. There's plenty more racing on the JP Broadcasting Network still to come later on this week. But until next time, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, like here at Spa, to get that title, you need to go flat out. We'll see you next time.